Drill sergeants. What is the one recruit story you tell at parties that nobody believes? Private Felix Caldwell showed up to basic training looking like he belonged in a library, not a military base. Skinny kid from Vermont, thick glasses, spoke so quietly you had to lean in to hear him. Week 1, I figured he'd wash out before graduation. That changed during our first live fire exercise. We're at the range, teaching basic marksmanship, when Caldwell raises his hand during my safety brief. Drill sergeant, the wind speed calculations in our manual are mathematically incorrect for this elevation and humidity. I stared at him. Nobody questions army manuals, especially not some recruit who probably never held a rifle before enlisting. Explain yourself, Caldwell. He pulled out a notebook covered in equations. I calculated the ballistic coefficients using atmospheric pressure readings from the weather station. The manual assumed sea level conditions, but we're 1,200 feet above sea level. This kid was doing advanced physics in his spare time. I thought he was just showing off, trying to prove how smart he was to his fellow recruits. Fine, hotshot. Show me what you think you know. Caldwell stepped up to the firing line, adjusted his sights based on his calculations, fired his first 5 rounds. Perfect bullseye. Dead center, all 5 shots touching each other. The range went completely silent. Even the other drill sergeants stopped what they were doing to watch. In 22 years of training recruits, I'd never seen anything like it. Lucky shots, I announced. Let's see you do it again. Caldwell loaded another magazine. 5 more rounds. Same exact spot. Then he did something that made my jaw drop. Drill sergeant, would you like me to demonstrate wind compensation at 300 meters? Without waiting for permission, he adjusted his sights and fired at the distant target. Through the spotting scope, I watched 5 rounds land in a pattern smaller than a quarter. My assistant instructor whispered, "How is that even possible? We haven't taught windage calculations yet." That evening, I called Caldwell into my office. Needed to understand what I was dealing with. "Where did you learn to shoot like that, recruit?" "I didn't, drill sergeant. I learned the physics first, then applied the mathematical principles to marksmanship. Projectile motion follows predictable laws." Turns out Caldwell had a PhD in theoretical physics from MIT, joined the army because he wanted to apply scientific principles to real-world problems. For the rest of basic training, I used him as my secret weapon. Other companies would challenge us to shooting competitions, confident their experienced drill sergeants could outperform a bunch of new recruits. Caldwell would step up, make his calculations, and systematically destroy every target they set up. Word spread across the entire training base about the recruit, who shot like a machine. During graduation, the base commander personally asked to meet him, offered him a slot in sniper school immediately after advanced training. Caldwell politely declined. "Thank you, sir, but I'm more interested in the engineering applications. I'd like to work on improving the accuracy of artillery systems." Fast forward 8 years. I'm at a military reunion when someone shows me a news article about advanced guidance systems revolutionizing battlefield accuracy. The lead scientist quoted in the article, Dr. Felix Caldwell, now working for the Department of Defense. His theoretical work had improved artillery precision by 400%. Weapon systems across the entire military were using his mathematical models to calculate firing solutions. The quiet kid who corrected our marksmanship manual had become the genius behind the most accurate weapons in military history. Last year, he won the Presidential Medal of Science for developing targeting algorithms that save countless lives by eliminating collateral damage. When I tell this story at parties, people think I'm making it up. A recruit who was smarter than his instructors? Who revolutionized military technology? Who shot perfect scores while doing calculus in his head? But I've got the newspaper clippings to prove it. And somewhere in a government lab, Dr. Caldwell is probably still calculating wind speed and making the impossible shots that everyone said couldn't be done.